What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 30th episode of Don't Stop Beleafing. We talk all about the Leafs all the time to anyone who will listen. I'm your host, Nolan Drinkwalter, and this is your co-host, King of... What was that?
Nothing.
All right. Did you just fart?
No.
Yeah, you did. Okay. All right. King of the Fart Squad, Jack Prince. Jack, how's it going, buddy?
No. Try to mute it.
I can smell it through. I can smell it, man.
No. It wasn't a fart.
Nothing happened.
No, nothing.
So we're actually pretty excited right now. Leafs win the series, the first round series, and it feels like it's been forever, even though they only won 2 years ago. But this felt like we slayed some demons. We beat the Ottawa Senators. We beat the past, and we beat all those haters wanting us to lose. And it's awesome to see. I feel like a weight was lifted. I'm not even playing the game, so I can only imagine how these players feel. What do you think?
To them, it just seems like this is the first step. Job's not done. And this was just a blimp in their trajectory of where they're trying to get to. Did you not get that sense that they were never really too worried? Even though
I think they could say that, but like, there's got to be some relief.
There was definitely pressure
getting out of the first round.
I'm just saying, like, I think they very much trusted in their own talent and themselves. And they weren't trying to blow things up. Like, the media and everybody's saying, oh, change the lines up, put Wall in, like, do all these changes. And the Leafs were like, no, like, we're better than them, and we're going to just go out and prove it. And I think it was more the onus on the players to just do what they do best, and we will come out with the win. And it seems like that worked.
Well, honestly, I think it's more the coaching. Because Keefe was growing with them throughout all the playoffs and stuff like that. But Berube is a seasoned coach. He's been there. He's done that. Mm-hmm. He stayed cool, collective, confident, this whole thing. And then he put that trust in his players. Mm-hmm. He put that trust in the goalie. He put it on them to win the game. He's like, I'm not going to change. Why would I change anything? These are the players that are going to do this for us.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And that's what they showed him. Like, he challenged them, and they accepted that challenge.
Yeah, and what do you say in the morning? What do you say in the morning in that interview? He's like, job to do. We're ready to do that job. Or something like along those lines.
I'm going to work, and the work's right out in front of me. Yeah. Is that what he said?
No. Nothing like that.
You sure?
No.
I didn't hear the quote, so I'm just guessing.
Oh.
But yeah, so make it off to the second round. The games are against the Florida Panthers for the second round. Game starts Sunday, it looks like. Or actually might have been Monday. Sunday or Monday, I think, is the first game. It was kind of like half announced by Elliot Friedman. So that's good to see. And then Florida is basically the next demon we have to slay. And like Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, I felt like they had their sticks a little tight in the last game. But again, they got over it real quick in game 6. But let's first, I want to go through the first 2 games that they lost. We'll start with the game 4, the OT loss 4-3.
Next game is Monday, by the way. I looked it up.
So it is Monday. Mm-hmm. That was close. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so let's go through the first 2 games they lost. Game 4, the 4-3 OT loss. Mm-hmm. How much do you remember of that? What do you think? How do you think the Leafs played?
Yeah, so that was the game that you came over to my parents for.
Yes.
I think they played below average, maybe average. And
decent,
I think they were able to sneak away with an overtime that game, and they could have stole one. They could have stole one that game. They played well enough just to steal. I didn't think they deserved to win that game at all. I thought Ottawa showed more heart that game. And if they were to pull out a win, I thought that would be a very strong thing, because that's what teams do. Even when you don't have your A game, you still find ways to win. And that's what they showed that game, I thought. And then the next game was just a forest fire of...
Oh, the big dumpster fire.
Yeah. And it's almost like they're like, Willie's birthday's on Friday, so let's just win on a Friday for Willie.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday for
Today's
Willie.
Friday, Jack.
May 1st for Willie.
But yeah, like that 4-3 overtime loss, they didn't get a power play goal that game. They had that 4-minute double minor power play in overtime.
Yeah, that they didn't have JT for it, which I think definitely threw off the rhythm of that power play. You had Morgan Riley out there, and he
big non-call that pissed me off. With the chicken wing to the head? Come on, man.
Yeah, with Zub sticking out his elbow like that. I just don't understand how you can do something like that. And after the game as NHL, you not make any sort of statement and stuff. Like a guy clearly, like they're talking about the safety of the players in this playoffs, and it's just been so hypocritical of them, because some plays they'll throw the book at them, and then other plays they're just like, oh, no hockey play, playoffs, can't suspend them, but we'll fine them.
Yeah,
and it's
like $2,000 fine.
and it's like the fines do nothing, for one, and for two, they've been talking for years now about head contact and trying to eliminate the head contacts and late hits and defenseless hits,
the CTE.
And, yeah. When you look at the definition of the whole point in body contact is to remove the player from the puck. So when they've already removed the puck from them by passing it, and then 4 seconds later you get hit, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I know.
Gensel and Kachuk, it's like that is everything you should be trying to get rid of in your league. I remember the one guy in kinesiology, one of our profs that was like pretty high up, like did sports psych. His whole words is, if you saw somebody going through a red light, would you just hit them or would you avoid them or something along those lines? Like they were defenseless, and you have the opportunity to injure them or not. And if you decide to injure them, there should be repercussions for that.
Oh, 100%.
Because if you're looking this way, like old suicide passes, and the guy is just not, like, yeah, you shouldn't put yourself in that situation, but after you pass the puck and there goes 1, 2, 3, and then you get hit, like that isn't really a hockey play anymore. That's not separating someone from the puck.
No, and Tkachuk turned back into Gensel as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's just so many plays, and even like the Hagel one.
On Barkov, that one?
Yeah, on Barkov. Like,
or the shit he got the next game.
Yeah, and then the next game he gets absolutely murdered to the head. These are the plays we're trying to get rid of. And say what you want, I think in the old times they used to just drop the gloves. And it almost seems like that's safer than what's happening now.
Oh, and did you see Hagel's quote?
Yeah, he's like, I would have been willing to, drop the gloves the next game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have
fought. And that's the way you used to do things. But now these players are just, they do like some dirty hit back. And it's like, no. Before even two, it would be like, okay, I got his number. And then later in the game, you'd get him, but you'd get him clean.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I got him. Like, I hit him hard for you. And it might be a borderline charge, but at least the guy had an opportunity to defend himself. Like, none of this cheap bullshit. And then the Zub thing, guy like throws out an elbow, hits him directly in the head.
Yeah.
And then after that, you don't have any consequence whatsoever.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And then we lose our player for concussion spotting protocol. Because the spotters were like, yeah, hit to the head immediately. We got to test him for concussion. So he's gone. And then we lose him for our whole power play, who's really important on that power play.
Yeah.
And
but to be fair, like they were blanked before that. I know him being there, like it's a big what if. You can't, I hate playing that game. Yeah, he's a big reason of that, but you can't put that on.
Yeah,
like,
but
you have three.
For 4 minutes.
You have three: Marner, Matthews, Nylander. If you can't score with those three.
I know, but at the same time, for 4 minutes, I think they would have figured it out. They would have.
They did hit the post on that power play.
Yeah.
They did have some chances. They had 6 shots on net. But I think earlier in that game, it was either the first or second power play, they would not shoot the puck. They would dance around the zone. They would skate. They were looking for the perfect play, the perfect shot. That's not how they scored before. They changed everything up.
Yes.
And that ruined the power play that game.
Yeah. And less bodies in front, too.
Yes, and I was going to get to that in Game 5 because it
That
was
was
so
really
noticeable.
apparent. And just losing 50-50 battles and just not having any heart
It's like they didn't want to
Game 5.
expend any energy in the game because they thought it was done almost.
Yeah, Game 5 was just tough to watch.
Yeah, it's one of the it was a stinker for the Leafs.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put anything against Ottawa. They played well. They came out, they shot, they scored, they did what the Leafs were supposed to do in the game.
Yeah.
And that's going to get them a win.
Yeah, and they boxed out well too. Ottawa did. The Leafs had a hard time getting to the front of the net. And if either it was that or they just didn't want to go to the front of the net, I don't know.
But first, what were your feelings after the game 4? They're at least they're up 3-1. They lost in overtime in Ottawa. They're coming home. How are you feeling after that?
Well, I was thinking Game 6 immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why did you think they're going to lose Game 5?
Because Ottawa just would take that momentum as a young team and be like, we figured some stuff out. And
Okay.
I don't think Leafs were ready for what it would take to actually send them to the next round. The last game is always the hardest because especially when teams are facing elimination, they have nothing left to lose and they will play their heart out. And you have to play harder than them and be willing to go through that wall to get to the next round. And I think Ottawa is going to come out even better than that game that they just won. And now they believe, which is dangerous, that you just gave a young team belief. Yeah. So I figured that Ottawa would come out very strong. And they
came out kicking that first period.
Yeah, and the Leafs weren't willing to go through that game to really push themselves to the next. But I think after that game, the Leafs realized what they actually had to do to get to the next round.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Ottawa played very well. The Leafs looked so bad. There was booing by the end of the game by the crowd.
Yeah.
They were blanked on the power play again that game, but they were trying to go back to what they originally did, which I did like to see. But the retrievals after those shots were garbage. They were getting outbeat. Like you said, the 50-50 battles were won even on the penalty kill by Ottawa.
Yeah. It just, even the hustle wise, it looked like they got outskated in a lot of areas of the ice. And Leafs are a very fast team. They shouldn't be getting outskated that much.
No. And when they're a hardworking team, they beat everyone.
Yes.
Like we can talk about, Game 4, the goal Nye scored. He was shot out like a friggin' cannon.
What a goal.
And it was, that's my goal of the week, by the way. I might as well bring it up now. He was shot out like a friggin' cannon from that. He beat, I want to say, Zub. Was that Zub that he beat?
Yeah, it was Zub that he beat.
And like just so cleanly and on a breakaway. And his hands for going that fast.
Yeah.
McDavid-esque, almost.
That's what the impressive part is, to be able to move your hands going that fast.
Mm-hmm.
You have the old Mikheyev. A guy could go fast, but
yeah, he'd get 9 breakaways a game.
Yeah, but his hands just couldn't do it, and that was very impressive by Nyes to pull that off.
There was a stat I heard. He had 3 breakaways, like clean-cut breakaways, since March that he scored on, and all 3 were different moves.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you wonder if he's almost reading the goalies.
That's what people were saying.
And not just going in with, I have one move that I like, and I always do that move. It's like he's literally manipulating the goalies based on where he is in the situation and just kind of reacting, which is kind of the better way to do it.
The harder way to do it.
Yeah. You have to be pretty talented.
Yeah, But the one I'm thinking about, if it is one of the 3 goals, would be the breakaway against Pittsburgh where he had 0.5 seconds to shoot. So really, you only had one option there.
He's like, I had so much time this time. There's so many options. Sometimes when you overthink, it's bad.
I've seen Marner do it plenty of times on a breakaway.
That's why people with penalty shots, it's almost like they have probably a better chance of maybe scoring in the actual game when they're going full speed, because they're just kind of reactionary, versus in the penalty shot, they have too much time to think and they go in kind of half speed.
Well, actually, when you're going in, are you reacting or are you planning?
I go to this side. I see what the goalie does.
Triple
I'm like,
D.
oh shit. I go to this side. I'm like, Nothing. And then I go this side, and I just keep going back and forth until he gives me something.
Is that true? Is that true?
Sometimes I just do a ton of stick handles starting at the hash marks and just start seeing where the goalie starts biting. And then hopefully he's out of the net by the time I get close to him.
I have like 3 moves I go down with, and I just pick one. Yeah.
One I practiced a lot, and when I was younger, was the Sam Gagne. I watched videos of his shootout.
Is that where he opens the stick, fake shot, pull backhand?
Pull backhand, and then comes back forehand.
Oh, comes back forehand? Okay.
Yeah, and the goalie's like out of the net. So I practiced that a lot when I was probably like 14, 15, and
Nice.
I got really good at that. And I like it because the goalie ends up out of the net, and then you just slide it along the ice.
That's so mean. That's mean.
And so that's what I try to do most of the time, but it depends now because it has to be pretty early in the skate because the ice has to go fast for you to make all those stick handles in front of the goalie. If it's near like mid game or end, I just shoot now.
Yeah.
Because you can't deke when there's that much snow on the ice.
Let me guess, 5-hole. So it makes it personal.
No. It's very hard to get that because then you have to kind of stick handle open them up. I just like go in like I'm going to do a million stick handles like they're expecting me to because they know that I just love deking. I don't even care.
Yeah.
And I just do an early shot, maybe before they expect it, from just inside the slot. And then usually I just go either right below their glove or right below their blocker.
All right. Mine was I actually liked doing the Datsuk. And I could actually pull it off. I got good enough to pull it off.
You could. It was slower, but you did it.
Man, it was like probably 10 times slower. I'm not Datsuk. Are you kidding me?
Which almost made it like more funny to watch. Like the poor goalie's just like, oh, I know what's happening, but I still can't do it.
Love that deke. Oh, I always loved watching that. But so I guess we'll go down to the 4-0 game. We kind of hit on it. Leafs get shut out. The first goal was a screenshot, the same one that Stolarz got beat on in the 4-3 OT loss. And in the first one in the OT game, I think Carlo kind of came across and screened him while he's trying to block the chuck. And that was a mistake, because from what I've been seeing and reading, he should have let that guy be. He shouldn't have boxed him out. Let that goalie have a clear vision of the shot. And don't cut and cross in front of him. Mm-hmm. And Sanderson laid a perfect shot on that. So that's hard. That's hard to stop. Mm-hmm. Like all these goals, I think there's like 1 or 2 where I'm maybe blaming Stolarz.
And
it is so hard.
And the timing of these things, it's crazy when you think about it, how everything has to go perfect for the guy to be going through Stolarz's vision at that moment, and that puck has to hit that perfect slot. Like even Matthews' goal, it's just like it has to be like that timing of everybody in front at the same time. Yeah, it's pretty wild to watch, but Stolarz has been good for the ones that he has seen. He's definitely taken away a lot of goals that should be goals. High opportunity, nobody in front, shooter versus him. He's won those battles for majority of our series, and I think that was a huge difference maker, because even 1 or 2 of those goes in, we might still be playing right now.
Oh, yeah, true. And his save percentage doesn't really reflect the way he's playing, because I think he's like a 901 right now, because like there's been no shots in these games.
Yeah, and to stay focused during those games where you go a long period of time without a shot is very impressive for him. I was in favor of not putting Wall in. Because same here. I thought Stolarz has handled himself very well so far in that net, and I think he definitely gives us an advantage. Him being there and knowing that they have to beat him clean is very tough.
Yeah. And then the second goal of that 4-0 loss was the 2-on-1 penalty kill goal. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the shorthanded goal that Ottawa scored.
That's just gut punch.
Oh my God, man. It made me feel sick. Matthews' pass from behind the net is one of the worst plays I've ever seen him do. Yeah. And I couldn't even believe it happened. Like, it was slow. It was a slow pass. Mm-hmm. It was it was a saucer, but like didn't land where it was supposed to land, and could easily pick that off. He telegraphed it perfectly.
Yeah.
So 3 no-nos in passing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I noticed that a lot. The series of just weak passing plays, whether
Mhm.
it's a backhand like Nylander forcing something or backhand sauces from the boys within like a tight space. It's so easy to just pick those off. And you're in
Oh
the
yeah.
NHL. This isn't the regular season. We're not playing shinny anymore in these tight spaces. You have to make hard plays. And that little, you know, shinny bullshit isn't going to cut it anymore.
No, yeah, it burned them. And
It
like
burned them a
there's been a
lot.
lot there's been a lot of backhand, like trying to backhand flick it out of the zone.
Yeah.
I hate that, man, because
Dude,
there's a lot
it's
of
such a weak
fans.
it's such a weak play.
Yeah.
Like just if anything, backhand it hard and just ice it is a better play than trying to
Oh,
send something
100%.
weak through. Unless you're Sidney Crosby, then he gets a pass or Draisaitl.
Oh, I was gonna say, and Draisaitl. Don't forget Draisaitl. He's got a wicked backhand pass, and then Nylander on the back check of that 2-on-1. There's been video shown left and right about this,
How?
and you give up. He gave up. He stood straight up.
Dude, how do you do that at any point in the NHL? Even a regular season game at any point. You never should just like lean back on one skate in the NHL.
Unless there's been a whistle.
Yes. I
It's
could
yeah.
not believe he did that mid-game.
I know, like don't. It just it feels like you don't want it bad enough.
It
I don't know,
just,
man.
It does not show anything good, anything positive.
No. And I was sad, pissed off, and you could feel the game over at that point.
If anything, it showed that they definitely wanted to just make it to Willie's birthday.
Well, we're gonna stick with that story because it helps a lot.
It's the only way to justify that game.
Yeah. So these 2 games go by. So then 2 empty netters where the 6-on-5 looked absolute trash. And I don't know, man. And then at the end of the game, actually, Scott Lawton and Nick Cousins get into it. Nick Cousins punches the ref. I don't know if you saw that.
No. That game I was at a meeting, so I only caught glimpses.
I shut it off after the first empty netter. I was done. I was done. So after the games, hate stats start coming out about the Leafs.
Oh, from the woodwork.
Yeah. Do you know them?
From the
by
top,
heart?
I was the one sending you all of them.
I know, but do you remember them?
No, I know the power play one, and I know the Matthews scoring one. There was like Matthews scoring one. Then there was that's about the core 4 in game elimination games. And then there's the power play one about in elimination games being like 0 for 6. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll start with the power play one. Can you tell me in elimination games who is the last Leaf to score a power play goal?
Probably like Phil Kessel or somebody in like
oh
Boston
no, not
series.
that far, not that far.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, in the Matthews era. In the Matthews
era.
Yes.
Ooh. Bozak.
Did he play with Matthews?
Yeah, a little bit, I think.
Patrick Marleau.
Nice.
So they are 1 for 31 in the last 31, 0 for 30 in the last 30 power play attempts. So that
Love
one was
that.
Patrick Marleau. I think it was 2017. A long time ago.
Nice.
In closeout games, they were 1 for 13. So these are the stats are just flying around. Everybody's hating on the Leafs, right? Everybody's just hating on them. 11 goals by the core 4 in 51 elimination games.
Yeah.
So like people are just shitting left and right on them.
Yeah.
And to me, you can give me a billion stats. None of that matters. If I'm playing for the Leafs, or if like even as a fan, to me, I'm thinking none of that matters. That's past. None of that matters.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't define this team this year.
Or any game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all I'm thinking about is that next game.
Yeah.
So, like, that would be I'm guessing that's their mentality. It has to be.
Because it sounded like it from Matthews' interview. He's like, we didn't listen to any of that. We knew this situation was different with this team and this group of guys, and we just focused on what we had to do and not dwelling on the past. And they were very confident in their ability. And it did feel different this year. It didn't feel like they were just going to blow it to Ottawa It
Oh, I
it'd
know.
just be very
To
very
Ottawa?
unlikely.
Yeah, right.
It's
But yeah, but
you know this is a very strong team in my regard, and it didn't feel as weak as other teams that blew
and not
these
just the core
games.
four, who Treliving has surrounded them with, and
Everybody on the team.
yeah, we'll get to that. I want to go back to what we were just talking
Game
about.
5.
No, about the stats and stuff like that, about the mindset for what you have, because this is a pattern of the past, but like one game changes all of that.
Yeah.
And from there you build. So they could yell this out to us. They could chirp us for this. They can say this and that about what happened in the past. But as soon as you win this game, all that's forgotten. So that's why I wouldn't even be thinking about any of this, because like that one game changes it. They're out of the first round. They won that game.
Mhm.
So like even now the record's 2-13 in elimination games, but
Yeah.
nobody's talking about that now.
No.
Because they did it. Their goals were 11-51 in elimination games. Nobody's talking about that now because they won that game.
But that's how Toronto media is. They're and like the fans and stuff. It's all pitchforks when it's not good, and then
It's all doom
pitchforks
and
and
gloom
torches.
after one fucking game or two fucking games.
And then the next game they're on a high till the next game, and then if they lose, it's like, oh, this is the worst team, blow them up until the next game, and then the next game.
Give me that next hit.
Yeah, it's extreme highs and extreme lows, and overreactions to the max.
Yes, sir. And actually, I think we are pretty calm. We're pretty like level-headed fans
compared to the crazy fans, for sure. Like I know people that will wear their jersey to work the day after if they win, and then there's
I was this close.
And then like after the loss, they're like, I hate this team, never gonna play, like blah 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 blah, and it's just like that this person sucks, we should trade them, blah blah blah. And then the next game that person scored, like, oh yeah, they're great, yeah, I love them.
Give them an 8x8 contract.
Yeah, like, Jesus.
But to be fair, Game 6, I watched maybe half of it through my fingers. I was that nervous watching the game. Oh man, it got me good. I was screaming at the TV. Like this was one game where I was unhinged watching it. And I'm man enough to admit that, man. Like I was screaming at the TV, watching through my fingertips, blanket over the head, like I was watching a horror movie. Man, I don't know why, but
I was pretty calm.
Yeah?
I had a feeling they were gonna pull it out.
Oh, I predicted Leafs in 6.
Yeah, you did, and
I did.
you did. Yeah, you did on this podcast. You can look back at it. It's on the record.
Rewatch the tapes.
Go back episodes and rewatch them because they're that good.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. So all the other games that they lost, the one we were here at my parents' house, so I wasn't in my environment that they won the first 3 in. And then the other one was I was at a dinner, and it was on the TV in this restaurant. So
it was your fault.
Again, what I'm doing obviously matters. Why the Leafs do whatever they do. Anyway, this game, I was like, I'll be back at my house, and I'll be in the same position on the couch, and I didn't go to like my good position. So there's a good position that where how I sit in the couch.
Okay.
They've won all 3 games, and I don't move. And I started that game not in that position. I'm like, I'm not going to use it till I need to. And then in the third, when they, when it got in the third, I went to that position. I'm like, game's over now. And it was.
Okay, Jack, you're just as unhinged as I am.
What do you mean? No, I'm not.
So I had the specific position I sit in for the Leafs to win.
And I don't move.
It's the most insane thing I've heard.
And my phone has to be in this one spot and plugged in.
But it's already 100%. I gotta plug it in.
No, it literally was 100%, but I plugged it in.
You're unhinged, man.
No, I'm
You
not.
don't give me crap when you're doing that shit.
That's normal, man. What I did, normal.
All I gotta do is get completely naked, lay on the couch in a certain way,
Wasn't naked.
and my phone's gotta be plugged in. Oh my god, man.
So I knew they were going to win.
Yeah, I get that. That's why you were calm.
Yeah, I was actually calm because I was in that position.
Fair enough.
So, like, what would you rather have? Me being calm in that position, not moving and being still, or you being, like, jumpy?
Well, as long as I'm not watching the game with you, I'd rather be me.
Really?
It's like I'd be trying to talk to you, be like sitting in, like, face down on the couch, being like, I can't talk, man. I'm in my position.
Don't distract me. I'm helping them win. I'm doing God's work over here.
You don't get it. You're not with it.
I used to be with
man.
it, and then they changed what it was, and now what's it seems scary to me.
Okay, Abe.
It'll happen to you too.
So I want to go through all of Game 6, start to finish, each goal breakdown. Dude, this game was the series clincher. We got fucking talk.
I know. Yeah, we'll get into it.
So first period, teams are going back and forth. Going back and forth. A great start by both teams in this game. It's kind of end-to-end rushing. They're both getting chances. I thought it looked quick. They were hitting. All four lines were rolling.
There's a lot more chances, for sure.
And Pacioretty stays in the lineup. Everybody wanted him out, too. Put Robertson back in. Everybody wanted McMahon on that second line. So instead, Brube's like, screw all you guys. I'm going to do my thing. Patch is back to... So this is what I mean, too. Like, he's not afraid...
We had success with it earlier in the year, so it made sense. And it's a very safe move.
It is a safe move, but it felt like he wasn't afraid to do anything, really. Like, he wasn't afraid to change the lines mid-game. He didn't stick just because that was his decision. He was able to adapt.
But he also didn't overdo it.
True, he didn't overthink anything either. It's very simple.
Because he could have swapped all the lines after that game, mixed really put it in the blender, put Wall in to really change the momentum. Like, he could have
Kemper in, or Camp, in.
Yeah, he could have done so many things. And he's like, nope, trust my guys. We'll make a small change, put Pacioretty to the second. He's had success there before with those guys. See if we can find something.
So that's what it did, and it obviously worked.
So Brady makes that interference hit.
Yes, he did. Did you think that was a penalty?
I did.
Even in the playoffs?
Yes. Because
the only reason I think that was called is because of the high stick call in the Leafs. So basically, they were looking to even up the calls.
I think it was just because it was so aggressive. And you can't be, like, if he let up a little bit, I don't think it's called. But he was so aggressive about it, and you have to call it. Because what if the Leafs were up 1 power play to Ottawa's and 0 power plays? Do you think it's still called? Yeah? It's still called because it's so aggressive. He went all out on that. And so when he did that, I'm like, please make him pay. Like, really make them pay for that. Because your guy just took a big hit, and also it's Brady Tkachuk, and send the message to him that, like, that's your fault. And
actually, I want to back up before that. Sorry, Leafs come in. Nylander comes in. There's like a little 3-on-2 in front of the net. They get the puck on net. Domi and Pacioretty are crashing the net, and they get the rebound. And I'm pretty sure they both hit the post, or one of them hits the post on an open net.
There was so many posts. I'm thinking
this team is cursed.
Oh, really? I didn't.
As soon as that happened, I'm like, this team's cursed. They can't score. No?
No, not me.
I'm like, they can't score an open net. They're hitting the post.
No, because I hadn't even been in my position yet. We got some stops. Oh my God,
shut up about your position. We're talking about the game.
Yeah, no, that's how my mind works. So
what, you didn't think anything of that play?
So, no. So we go to the power play.
Not there yet. We were talking about Brady and his penalty. I think he is a great player. I hate both. Let me get it straight. I hate both the Chucks with a passion. But I think Brady's a great player. He can bang, he can hit. But I think he's too emotional. And I know playing with your emotion is good. Playing with your emotions is great. But you can overdo it. And I think he has a tendency to do that in hockey. You can with that hit, but it also helps obviously like the goals he scored and the way he plays is great. It's just overdoing it is basically costing the series.
Yeah. But I also think with that emotion, he drags and brings his team into the battle.
Agreed.
So
there are some
there's some pros and cons to
Yeah.
each of it, and I think over time, maybe with experience, especially in the playoffs, like this is for he learns that balance. But that's the benefit of playing a team that's had little playoff experience is they do still make those mistakes, and you got to make them pay. And that's what I thought in that power play. I'm like, we have to make them pay here,
Yes.
and that is my goal of the week.
Nice.
Is that
I'll let you
shot
talk about it
by Matthews, because how many times this year when they're struggling with their power play did we say Matthews needs to go out, do the high loop, and come back in and hit him on the puck while he's coming back into the zone and has a little bit of speed, and then does that wrist shot? And that's exactly what he did. Finally, I haven't seen it in ages. I haven't seen him score a wrist shot goal on the power play in ages. And he didn't even shoot it hard. He did some sort of change up, put the puck where only like probably that much space
Yes.
could go in, and again, Nye's in front. Net front presence, which is so important that we didn't have
big ass
that much in
front.
the game before.
Yeah.
He just parked his big ass in front. He knew the job. That's, let the skill guys do that. Matthews perfectly placed shot. I just like the sound it makes when it hits the back of the net along the ice. It makes that like thud on the padding.
Yeah.
It just fired me right up. And then I knew that like this is your captain, like your leader scoring. I'm like, this is going to be a good game. And that's a good sign.
Were you in your position yet, though?
I wasn't.
Whoa.
And so I was like, I might not even need to pull it out tonight.
I'm going to keep that in my back pocket.
Yes.
But I do want to talk about that goal. It was a great goal. It was a 62-mile-an-hour shot, which is slow for the NHL. Was it a shot? Was it not a shot pass to Nyes?
No.
You don't think it was?
Absolutely not.
Do you think he took all of that off for the accuracy?
He looked up to make the goalie think he was going far side upstairs and shot down low, left side.
If that is all, if that was exactly what he was playing the whole time, it was one of the smartest plays I've seen. Because when you watch in slow motion, Allmark tries to look around Nyes from the right side where Matthews is coming in. Can't see much, so he tries to go to the left. As soon as he goes behind Nyes there, Matthews shoots.
Yep.
Perfect time to shoot.
He was looking the whole time. I think it was the smartest shot, and that's why it's my goal of the week, because I think he broke that down. I think his IQ is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. And then big-ass Nyes in front with the best screen I've seen, man. What a thick boy. And with 1:13 left in the first period, also.
Yes, huge.
Momentum swing right at the end of the period. Like, end of the period goals, man. Or beginning of the period goals. Which we'll get to.
That had been so even to come out on top of it. It does definitely put a little bit in the mindset of the Ottawa players, especially when they're facing elimination. That means they have to try that much harder to get this win.
So put that down as another spiritual assist for Nyes as well.
Yeah.
And actually, that goal was assisted by Marner and Nylander.
Yeah.
So all the big three getting points right off the bat.
Right at the beginning. And that's why I said to myself, that is the best sign we could have got.
Mm-hmm. So then we go on to the second period. First minute and a half, I think, something like that.
So fast.
Pacioretty on that second line, makes a great play on Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
Pokes it off his stick. Right to Nylander, coming in. Hot on a 2-on-1. Rips a shot past Allmark. Makes him look
good.
Dumb. And,
so fast.
Oh, I know. What a great shot. And I want to talk about this goal too, because Carlo later on in the game, Brendan Carlo for the Leafs, comes down on a 2-on-1, kind of the same thing, and has like an open shot against Allmark.
And goes high glove.
High glove, but telegraphs the whole shot. Allmark knows exactly where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it look super easy.
Yes.
Carlo's a defensive defenseman. Mm-hmm. So this really shows me how good Nylander is at what he does as
Yeah.
being a goal scorer in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he comes in, that goalie has no idea where he's shooting.
Yeah.
Or if he's passing even. Like,
Yeah.
he
And
is
even
so
in-
deceptive
he's-
in his shot.
And he's even on an angle.
Yeah.
He placed that shot perfectly.
That too.
And if it was even, I would say, probably a couple miles per hour slower, Allmark's got that save.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because he didn't even fully go
He
down on
blew
the
it
shot.
by. He blew it by him before Allmark was able to move that much.
Yeah, like he wasn't down in position yet.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know what he was doing yet in the shot.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's crazy how deceptive Nylander is in the shooting. Because when you compare it to someone like Carlo, which I'm not saying he's because he's not the goal scoring type, and he has that chance that he did, and Allmark easily grabs that puck.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was crazy. And again, Patches makes a beautiful play off that, gets his first assist. Berube's looking like a genius.
Yes.
So then we go, I think it was later, 7 minutes later in the second period, Brady Tkachuk scores a goal.
Very
Where
nice goal.
I know, but I want to talk about before that. Because I want to say does this on purpose. He falls on McCabe's stick. He grabs it and falls on it.
Mm-hmm.
Takes it out of McCabe's hands. I think McCabe's dropping it because he doesn't want to get a penalty. I don't think he should have went to pick it up. Because he gives Brady Tkachuk the clear lane to the net. And with the open shot, Tkachuk has all the time in the world in front for that tip.
It's just such a Tkachuk goal.
I know.
That's something you see Matthew do, where it's like some scrum in the corner, and you think it's insignificant, and then it ends up being a difference maker in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just a Tkachuk play right to the end. And once he scored that, I'm like, okay, this game's not nearly over, because Tkachuk just scored that. His whole team's fired up now, and that guy just got the goal back that he let in for the first power play. So that's a huge weight lifted off his shoulders. So he's going to play a lot freer. Yeah. And I think also with Jimmy Stu, that guy looked dangerous the whole night.
He was dancing all night.
He's dancing every time he touched the puck. It was kind of like McDavid-esque, where the fans are like, and you could, and like even me as a Toronto fan was like, shit, get it off him. It just felt something. I think over time he'll figure that out too, so he could be very dangerous in the future.
Because he's a big boy too. He was throwing hits, man.
Yeah. And there was definitely a lot of nervousness when he had the puck, which I didn't like either, because I was like, they could tie it up off of like a thing he does, and all he needs is one goal to get really going. If he's already at this level, then I'd hate to see him after a goal. So that Tkachuk, it was a beautiful tip though.
Oh my gosh, man. That Stoller's no chance on it.
No.
But that brings me to the duality of Nylander on that goal too. Because he's on that board fighting for that puck as well. Mm-hmm. And he looks almost disinterested with that puck.
Yeah.
In any kind of 50-50 battle, and loses it real easy, and the puck gets back to the defenseman where he's supposed to be skating out towards to block the shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't get there, shot goes in, tipped in as well.
It's just that heart when you're tired at the end of your shift. Like, how much are you willing to keep going? And he just doesn't seem to have it, and makes a really stupid bonehead play. As far as it was the end of his shift, he'd already made a rush that shift. They'd been in the defensive zone. He gets it. He starts skating it out. Lawton's cutting, and instead of just getting the red line and dumping it and letting Lawton chase in after it, he tries to sauce it through two defenders to Lawton to spring him for a breakaway. And it gets intercepted, and then now we're back inside our own zone.
Yeah.
For another, 40 seconds. And he doesn't get the change.
And then I'm pretty sure they ice it, and it's off the face-off that they score, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. And so, just, especially as the playoffs go on, you need to be making the high
safer
percentage play and safe play and smart play. And so... I don't know. I was like, again, it's just such a Nylander story. You hate him, but then he scores 2 goals and you love him.
Oh, I know. I know.
And that's what Dubas' famous quote, like, you hate Nylander so much, and then all of a sudden he just does something miraculous. And you're like, I love this guy.
Yeah, true. So then we go on, rest of the period goes, no goals scored on either side. So we'll go on to the third period where Morgan Rielly gets a cross-checking penalty. And the Leafs, and Morgan Rielly, I got some things to say about him too. He did not look good that game. Not that good in that game either. So he gets the penalty. The Leafs make a miraculous kill. Beautiful kill. It looks like they're destroying momentum for Ottawa. They hold the puck for like 45 seconds to a minute, just passing it around. Dump it down. Looking great. And then Ottawa comes back in the last 5 seconds of the power play. They start getting some momentum in the zone, keeping it in. David Perron goes behind the net. Backhands it off Stoller's head and in the net. And that goal, baffled me. Because I didn't know how it went in for like a solid 2 minutes. And I was so mad. So in that David Perron goal is scored, and another gut punch.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that goal. Again, both you and I are in the same boat. How did that go in? And took like so many replays, and then at some point I thought maybe it deflected off our defenseman, and then you watch it, he's behind the goal line, and it's one of those shots where you do 100 times and maybe score once.
Oh yeah.
Out of those 100. And in this case, he got it. At this point, I still hadn't changed my sitting position.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
So I'm like, I need to reverse this.
Reverse the
by
curse.
Finally changing. Because that's a hard sign. A goal like that might make them believe that they can win. When you start getting bounces like that.
So like when their belief goes up, you're like, position change.
Finally, I just dropped the hammer on them.
You're like, finishing move.
I did. And you know what? We scored a minute 39 after.
Nice. But the only other person I've seen do that goal, or like on purpose, McDavid.
Yeah.
Off the helmet and in, like Perron's goal.
Crosby's done it too.
Has he? I'll have to watch some more highlights. But yes, we'll get on to the series clinching goal by Mr. Max Pacioretty, number 67 of the Leafs. Where's that number? Who gets the first goal of the year? Who gets the series clinching goal in the first round? Is this team the team of destiny?
As soon as he scored, I said, we just made it out of the first round.
Who'd you say?
Because what a storybook ending.
Oh, I know.
I said it to myself. I'm like, we won. We just won.
Let's start playing the parade.
Because 67. And the thing is, too, is I wasn't a big fan of Domi too much that game either. Thought he was making some very soft plays and just wasn't really in the right positions and was kind of getting rid of the puck fast, wasn't really confident with it on his stick. And then in the last little bit there, he comes down, shoots, very much shoot first mentality, which was great.
Oh, sorry, can I say one thing first?
Yeah.
Berube changed the lines. So he put McMahon up on the second line in the third period.
Yes.
And brought Patches down to the fourth with Domi and Holmberg.
Yes.
So this is the fourth line out right now with Domi and Holmberg and Patches.
And they looked great once he changed that.
Yes.
I thought it made a huge difference having Patches back there. McMahon started playing.
I thought he was humming
McMahon
all
had a
game,
great
and now
game.
was
all game, and then he moved to that line, and that line started clicking too, and then we had all our lines clicking, and I was like, what a brilliant move. Now McMahon's, who's been playing great all game, gets rewarded, and then Patches, who, wasn't having a bad game per se, was on this line, and that seemed like what was needed from that line, because all of a sudden they started playing well together and having some good shifts, and all of a sudden Domi looked like a new player out there and was calm, composed, shoot first mentality, which is what I loved, because this is a guy
he's
that
not
all season
he's not passing to Holmberg.
I know, but
you're not passing Holmberg on a 201.
I'm just saying, like, all year he's looking to pass, and now is just in this shoot first mentality, which I love. Made a great shot, almost scored there. Doesn't give up on it, chases it, gets it back, holds on to it. A lot of patience there. Could have tried to force a pass to one of the guys in front, waited, and then all of a sudden, right there, Patches.
Finds a soft spot on the ice where it's just open. Like, what a...
Yeah, and Domi puts it right to him at the perfect time. And what a great shot. And
screen in front by Holmberg.
Holmberg's doing what he has to do, and once they score, and I look at that, I'm like, Patches just scored. This game is over. That's a
Yes.
sign. That's destiny. And also, I'm in my proper sitting position, and they've looked extremely good since I changed, and we won.
Oh yeah. And so I want to talk about Holmberg for a second. He has been feeding me my lunch all season because I've been down on him all year. And then he seems to either score a big goal or play a good game and be consistent with what he's doing. And in this game, he helps. He's a big reason why they got that goal.
Mhm.
After Domi shot, he was the one that forechecked behind the net to help Domi get the puck. And then he was the one
Mhm.
screening in front. And like 2 of those 3 goals were because they had a big body in front of the net screening that goal. The way you need to score goals in the playoffs to beat these guys.
Yeah, and if you think of the lines, if you got Nyes on the one line in front of the goalie, McMahon on another line, Tavares also likes to go.
Mhm.
So, you got 2 guys there, and you need another guy on one of those other lines. Lorenz likes to go, Lawton likes to go, and now you got Holmberg that likes to go in front of the net. The more of those guys that you have in front of the net that are willing to pay that sacrifice in the playoffs and take that punishment, the better team we are going forward.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry to Holmberg. I think you should be playing on this team. You've been playing well. And I am behind you now 100%. I hope you know that. That is my apology to Holmberg. So
We'll tag him in it.
Tag him. He'll be our first interview. So we'll get on to the final goal that was scored by Nylander on the open net. I want to bring up Lawton because he makes this huge block. Brube trusts him enough to be out there on a 6-on-5 because he knows what he's going to do for this team. And he blocked probably the hardest shot of the game.
Yeah.
And puts his whole fucking body in front of it. He even gets down, crouches low to get all of it in front of it, get his whole body in front of this fucking puck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he even makes a play on the puck after that, does he not?
Yeah.
And now we see Nylander give it his all when there's an open fucking net and decides to fight off the best defender on Ottawa.
Like, nothing.
Yes. What the fuck?
I think the guy ended up on the ground.
And would have gotten a penalty because of it.
Yes.
Which is wild that Nylander's able to do that and is not, and looks disinterested half the fucking game. Man, this guy infuriates me.
Wild.
I know. So big win for the Leafs. I want to talk about, actually, let's talk about our feelings first, but at the end of the game, I didn't go to bed till 12:30 at night because I was so jacked up, man, from this game. Holy crap.
I was wondering that.
Like right
There's
after.
a lot of people.
Oh, I know. Right after,
There's a lot
I
of people that
watched
couldn't sleep.
the recap with Joe Bowen calling the goals. Like literally 5 minutes after the game.
Oh, yeah, that would get your heart pumping more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Joe gets me going too. That's wild. I actually was fine. I got to bed a pretty good hour.
Good for you. And yeah, like I said, kind of like a relief, a weight almost being lifted watching this team go to the second round. And I think they're actually going to do pretty well against Florida. I think it's going to be different than what people are saying.
Well, I think what they have going for them is Leafs always play down to the team that they play, and then as if they're underdogs, they always seem to play up to the team they're playing. And so I think we can definitely surprise some people out there. And I think if you slay the beast that is the Florida Panthers,
Nothing's stopping you.
nothing's stopping us after that.
No.
And I think this is destiny this is the team that we can't get over and took our chances away the other year and they went right to the finals. And I think this is a good redemption to show everyone we've grown as a team and this isn't the same team that we were playing a couple years ago.
Not just that, they became a super being by bringing Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins over onto that team.
Yeah. This is a better Florida team. They got Seth Jones now too.
I know, but now they're Boston and Florida mixed together. Like they are
I know.
our nightmare.
Yeah, it's like
the nightmare
you have to exactly. And this is for you to slay the beast, you have to overcome your biggest challenge yet, and this is it.
And that's what it feels like. It feels like the final boss.
You're beating Boston and Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
In one.
And I just want to touch on our trade deadline acquisitions and our pickups at the beginning of the season, the free agents, because we have Pacioretty that we picked up at the beginning. We had Lorentz we picked up at the beginning of the season. Tanev. Who else am I missing?
It was a lot.
It's not that much. Who else is playing on the team right now? Stolar's the goalie. Duh. OEL. So, like, those guys have looked so good on this team.
Berube.
The coach. Even the coach, man. But yeah, these players have looked so good on this team. They fit in so well. They fit in under the system so well. Like, OEL had 2 goals this series. Tana blocked 1 billion shots and played some...
And we have McMahon this year, too. We didn't have McMahon last year in playoffs.
He has, like, 1 assist. He's not looked great.
But, dude, he was a huge difference in that last game.
Fair enough. And then with the trade line acquisitions with Lawton and Carlo, who've both made this team so much better.
Carlo on defense is so easy looking. He makes it look so easy. Him and Ekman Larson, I've seen a couple times. It was like their best player coming down on us, whether it was Stützle or whoever. And even when they look like they got a step, they're so big, especially Carlo, who just reached out and just still poke-checked it. And didn't look stressed at all. And I'm like, wow. Think of how hard it would be as a forward. You're that skilled, and you still can't get around these guys, and how frustrating that would be and draining on your confidence.
Oh, yeah. And then OEL, I mean, there's this one play where OEL was boxing out Chuck from the front of the net. It, like, started in the corner, and like he wouldn't let him get any closer than that. And it was amazing to see. And and Stolarz had like the most open, clean shot to stop.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. Keep doing that in every series.
I was like, at what point, though, is that interference?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, too.
Okay, you're just starting a box-out fight over there.
Yeah, like in the middle of nowhere.
I was like, this is kind of wild, but that was kind of cool to see.
It was. And, like, Brady trying to get back by him to get to the net. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So
he's, like, juking like a football player.
I'm going this way.
Stride jump. Spin.
So, do we have time to talk about the next series, or would you like maybe do that in another podcast?
Well, the next podcast would be after the series has started, so we have to at least talk about it a little bit.
Okay, we're going overtime. So, Panthers versus the Leafs. So, right now, let's break it down for a second. Selke nominations just came out. 2 of the Florida Panthers are Selke nominations, Reinhart and Barkov.
Nice.
They're on the same line, on the same team. That's going to be difficult.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough assignment for Matthews, because that's who they're going to...
Barkov versus Matthews. Is going to be something to see, but like, I don't know how exciting it's going to be, because I feel like it's going to be pretty defensive.
It's just going to be a defensive battle. Yeah. So first lines are going to cancel out.
Yeah. So it's really going to come down to depth. I'm kind of watching the first line against the first line. Is it to Chuck, Barkov, and Reinhart? I think is the first line.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. And then Bennett. I don't even know their lines that well. They have a good fucking team.
They have a good team. Top to bottom, they're a good team. Their defense has a lot of depth.
I give Bobrovsky over Stolarz. No offense to Stolarz, but
no, 100%. But it's kind of cool because it's student versus teacher.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
And there's a chip on Stolarz's shoulder to be like, yeah, I learned a lot from you, but now it's time for me to take your place.
Do you give him the edge playing his old team in the sense of, like, will they know where to shoot? Will he be, like, extra motivated to stop the puck because he wants so bad to beat his old team? So, like, do you give...
It goes both ways. Because they know Stolarz, and Stolarz knows them.
So that's what I'm saying. Who do you give the edge to there?
I'd say it's a wash. Yeah.
So defense, I almost give that a wash, too. I think we're more defensive than they are. But they have more offensive defense than we do. Yeah. They have way better offensive defensemen. With Seth Jones, with Ekblad, an offensive defenseman?
Ekblad's out first game.
Yeah, I had that written down here too. Physicality, Florida wins that too.
Yes. Unless we dress Revo.
Yeah, do you think we should dress him first game?
Just first game, just beat the shit out of a lot of them.
Get suspended 8 games?
Yeah, who cares?
Injure like 6 of them? No, that's...
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of hockey.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Yeah, I know. But should we do
it? Do we need to win? Do we want to win?
Do we want to win that bad? Honestly, I kind of give... On paper, the Panthers are kind of... Because they have experience. They got all this on the Leafs. I kind of give the edge to them in this series.
They have...
Because the Leafs have... They have to prove they're the better team.
And also, every game that we played Florida this year, even though we like the Ottawa,
The series
we
is
lost all to
2
Ottawa.
2 for Florida.
Yeah, and the games at the end of the year, the Florida Panthers outplayed us, and they didn't even have half. Like, Barkov was missing the one game, and we still couldn't beat them. Marchand wasn't playing, and Matthew Tkachuk wasn't playing, and we still didn't even beat them.
I give that last game like a nothing burger because I feel like both teams were trying to lose.
Yeah.
And we just lost better than they did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. It was kind of like the South Park episode when they're playing baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the game before that, I think the Leafs won 3-1. It's the game you're talking about where Barkov was out. And I think
Yes.
one of their better... Oh, and Ekblad was still out with the 20-game suspension.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's the game. And Tkachuk was out, too. So, yeah, that's the game you're talking about. It was 3-1 the Leafs.
Yeah.
And they just beat them.
And they just beat them, and I'm like,
But
man,
that's
they
also
didn't
what I want
have,
to talk
like,
about.
3 of their best players.
I know. But that's also what I want to talk about because people have been talking about how the Leafs have been winning the wrong way throughout the whole year, but they've still been winning. And like they talk about this Ottawa series, oh, they barely beat Ottawa. They won overtime games, but they're winning those games. They're winning. It doesn't matter who they're facing; they'll win those games, and
they have that belief.
Yeah, and it's not just the belief. That's all that matters in the end is the win. I don't care how you win, how you do it. If it's 2-1, if it's 8-1, you're winning a game.
Good teams just find ways to win.
Yes, exactly my point. So, like, who cares that it took 6 games to beat Ottawa? Who cares that 2 of them went to overtime that they won and 1 went to whatever they lost? But they're winning. Like those overtime games before they lost those.
Yeah, all I can say is it's going to be a hell of a series.
It is. I have it going 7.
Yes.
And I'm obviously picking the Leafs in 7.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. But that's my hope, and like, there's no way it's not going 7. I just hate how people are saying that the Panthers are going to mop them up or like roll over them.
No, I think this Leafs team will surprise some people.
I hope so.
Because they always play up to their competition. And you look at games that they played throughout the end of the season against Vegas, Colorado, and they looked phenomenal.
Yeah, and they just find a way to win. And that's what they've been doing. And I hate how people kept saying that they weren't they weren't winning the right way. They're winning.
And we got the coach, and we got certain players now on D, and that guys that are grinders and just figure out how to win in these games. And I wouldn't want to play a 7-game series against those guys either.
Yeah.
So
honestly, either team, I wouldn't want to play
either
against.
team. So that's what I mean. So it's going to be whoever's getting out of this series it's going to be a tough battle to get out of the series.
Actually, speaking of the coach Brube, there was a moment when the first power play goal was scored. Mark Savard loses his mind, and Brube's like, "Fuck off! Don't do that on the bench."
Yeah, he did it again, and then at the end of the game was when he was calm.
Oh, Mark Savard?
Yeah, he celebrated both goals.
Power play goals.
Like 2 goals. Yeah, like all the goals, and
Brube's just kept shaking at him.
Yeah, just shaking his head.
Don't do that shit here.
Yeah.
I honestly, he is a calming force, I think, that has the experience for these guys. And he'll be great.
Yeah, he's leading the charge.
So Monday is the first game for the Leafs, which means Wednesday is probably the second game. And from there, I'm guessing Saturday will be the game after that.
Probably, most likely.
Yeah. So we will be back next Sunday?
Probably.
To talk about the 3 games, and you will know how we feel in there. It'll probably be sad, might be happy, I don't know. But this series will probably murder me.
Nolan's gonna get a defibrillator for his house.
Man, yeah, I'll need it.
In case it sends him into cardiac arrest.
Yeah. I guess we will see you a week from now, and for the week ahead, pray for the Leafs, watch the games, and pray for us because we might be dead. So in this week ahead, play hard and have fun.
Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs,
Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go.